Well, thanks everyone. What's old is new again. This is my 4th time accepting a nomination for Nepean Carleton, and each time I am more humbled. Let me first say thank you to Chris Crawford, our Eastern Ontario Vice President. Under Chris's leadership, we were able to gain 3 seats here in Eastern Ontario in the last election, and I know Chris is going to work very hard to pick up 3 more after the next election. Thanks very much, Chris, and congratulations. Let me also say thank you to our outgoing executive. Today we are going to be selecting a new at the AGM, a new executive. Our last executive has been with us for a very long time. They work very hard. Many of them played a key role in our campaign in 06, in 07, and in 11. And I want to say thank you, and 2 people I'd like to single out on that executive, our President Al Prue and our CFO Graham Cork, who have done an outstanding job. I want to say thank you, both gentlemen, as well as the and I would like to thank my campaign team and my staff for everything that they have done for me. But most of all, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking my husband, Joe Varner, and our daughter, Victoria, for all the sacrifices that they have made for our I've thought a lot about what I wanted to say this morning, and it wasn't until last night when Joe and I were walking down Main Street here in Manotick that I realized how humble I feel to be in your presence and to represent all of you at Queen's Park. How proud I am each time my name is called as the member from Nepean Carleton to actually represent one of the most historic and greatest and largest and most populated ridings in all of this great province. And I don't take that lightly. I think I've got a reputation for going into our community every weekend when I'm home and talking to all of you to know what your views are, so that when I stand on the floor of the legislature, I speak not only with my own conviction, but with yours. I hope that I bring to the floor of the Ontario legislature compassion, because I know in this room not one of you has escaped a family or personal illness and needs our healthcare system. I know that there's not one person in this room that hasn't feared for saving enough for their children's education. I know that there are people in this room who are worried about their retirement. And I know, because of the circumstances our province has recently faced, you're all concerned about affordability, paying the bill, looking at that hydro bill and wondering how the heck are we going to make ends meet. I know that because you tell me. I know that because we have an open relationship where you'll come to me and you'll tell me your hopes, your fears, your dreams, and your aspirations. I cherish that relationship. And I want you to know I will continue to fight on your behalf. And yes, I said the word fight on your behalf in the next election and in the next Parliament. We have 2 leaders in the legislature who are nothing more than robots. They do whatever they think the electorate wants at any given time. Dalton McGuinty has done that for 3 elections now. He has told everyone in this room and everyone in the province of Ontario what they want to hear. And then he changes his mind because he either knows he can't do it or it was a cheap vote getting idea. He has let Ontarians down. Then we have Andrea Horvath. I call her 1-800 Horvath. She has no idea where she stands on the issues. She had to set up a 1-800 hotline to talk to Ontarians because she didn't know in her guts, in her instincts, in her best ideas what we need in this province. That's not leadership. That's not a special leadership that women bring to the table. That's not leadership at all. And I can tell you, in the next election, as your MPP for Nepean Carleton, I will go into that next election knowing where I stand because I know where you stand. Because together, we know what we need for this city, for this riding, and for our province. I haven't really told this story many times to all of you, but I know many of you know me well enough. I consider everyone in this room a friend. In fact, because my husband and I come from Nova Scotia originally, we don't have family here, many of you we've adopted, or you've adopted us. Joe and I both came here a year apart from Nova Scotia. Me with $200 in my pocket, and him with a little less than 200. We had no jobs. We had no home. We relied on friends and good graces and contacts that we had had from our home province to get our first job. Eventually, this province gave us more than we could have ever imagined. Gave us opportunity. Gave us a job. Bought our first home here. Bought our first vehicle here. And thanks to the opportunity that we had, we actually now have a family that we can support in Ontario. We came to Ontario in the 1990s when someone like Mike Harris knew how to run a province, who told people what he was going to do, and he meant it. Not only did he mean it, but he did it. And he created that opportunity. Who came from another province. It was people who came from around the world. They made Ontario their home. They made Ontario great. Over the past 9 years, 6 of which I have been your MPP, I have noticed that decline. People who traditionally would look to Ontario as the economic engine of Confederation, that place to settle, that place where there was opportunity and dreams, is no longer. It's the place with the highest taxes. It's the place with the highest deficit. It's the place with the highest debt, that it is 3 times higher than every other single province combined. We've got high unemployment. We have low prospects. What's up is down, what's down is up. It makes no sense, and there is no plan. And ladies and gentlemen, we are on the cusp of an election. Dalton McGuinty thinks he can get his elusive majority, possibly as early as Tuesday of this week. We could be into an election. That's pretty serious. We haven't passed one piece of legislation since being elected, yet this guy, Dalton McGuinty, would prefer to preserve his own power over good governance in Ontario.
Shame.
That's not the Ontario way, and that is not the Nepean Carleton way, and that is not the Progressive Conservative way. So let me say this. I will vote against his budget because that is the duty of the official opposition. I will defend your interests at Queen's Park, and if we are forced into an election, I will win this seat again. I will work with Chris Crawford and our leader, Tim Hudak, to make sure we win more seats in Eastern Ontario, and I will be very vocal in talking about the flaws of Dalton McGuinty and Andrea Horvath. The last thing this province needs is 4 more years of Dalton McGuinty, and the last thing we need before that is 4 years of the Democrats, because, ladies and gentlemen, we do not need socialists running this province into the ground like they did under Broadway. So here's my call to action. I want to thank you once again for your support of me. I can't tell you how much that means. But the days ahead are going to be volatile. Not only at home, when we have to deal with those healthcare issues and those financial issues. Not just going to be turmoil because of what we're seeing with layoffs or even public service strikes as a result of Mr. McGuinty's budget. But ladies and gentlemen, we could be thrust into an election that 2 very egotistical leaders believe is in the best interest of them, not of the province. Now I know many of you are a little frustrated. We didn't finish the election in the last campaign first. We have a chance to finish the job, but when the time is right, and when that time comes, I will call upon each and every one of you to stand with me, to stand with Joe, to stand with our candidates, to stand with our leader, to stand with other progressive conservatives, to return this province back to prosperity, and to return this province back to good government. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you.